and an introduction to putting text along a path using GIMP. I've got my background here and I've put some guides on because I want this selection to be symmetrical, which is a circular selection, and I'm going to put in a little notch in one corner just for this example. Not necessary, it's only to show orientation a little later on. So now I'm going to put the selection to a path. You can see in the paths dialog there it's not visible. Toggle the visibility if you want to. Just deleted the original selection, it's not required anymore. Now I'm going to put in some text. I've selected my font and my size, and the only thing we need to do is put the text in. Now, because it's going on a circle, I'm going to increase the spacing of the letters. That's that control there, and then I'm going to put the text along the path. So to increase the spacing, we'll bump that up a bit more, 10. Click on the button for text along a path, and you can see we actually get a new path. Can hide the text layer, or we can delete it. Doesn't matter now. We have our path, and I'm going to rotate this path. And in the rotate dialog, I want to make sure that for transform we're using the paths button rather than the layer button. So now clicking on it, and you do it whichever way you want to. Click and drag, or use the slider, or enter the angle. When you're finished, you rotate it, and there we have our text as a path. Now what I want to do is go back to the basic circle path, and I want to put some text at the bottom of the circle, and to do this I need to flip the circle. So go to the flip tool, and you can see it's horizontal, so into the dialog make sure we're using the path, that one. And vertical, that one. Click inside the path, and you can see it flips over. So now we're on that horizontal, that circular path again, and we'll repeat the procedure for entering text. Going to leave everything the same. Click along on the text along path. Close that dialog. Delete that text layer. And rotate the text path as before. When you're happy with it, close out the dialog, rotate dialog, and you see we've now got two lots of text as paths. They're still as paths, and I'm going to put in some text on a horizontal wavy line now. So slightly different procedure. I want some idea of how long the path is going to be, so I'm going to put the text in first this time, and then once the text is in, I'll draw the path. That looks a bit on the short side, so I'm going to go down and increase the spacing of the letters. That looks okay. That's to give us some idea of what it'll look like. And now I'm going to use the path tool, that's that one. And I'm going to start just under the W, click the start, and I'm going to make it slightly longer than the Wilbur to allow for the curvature. So that's the end. Click on the path to show the handles. Click and drag, and then move the handles around whatever way you want. That looks reasonably symmetrical. Oh, it's grayed out. Click in the text along the path, and there we have it. Kill the text layer, and you can see that's what the path briefly there, the horizontal path. Just going to move this a little bit, same as before. Make sure you're on the path button. That's that one, and that you're going to move the active path, and you actually are on the active path. And we'll just center it up. I'm going to delete that tidying up, delete the text layer. Now you can see all the paths, and we don't actually have any graphic text. We've just got a whole load of paths at the moment. So what are we going to do with them? I'm going to add a transparent background for the text here. Always good. Use as many layers as you feel necessary rather than everything on a background. So I'm going to hide all the paths except for Wilbur. And we're going to color Wilbur in. Lots of ways of doing this. But first I've got to convert it from a path to a selection. Lots of ways. Use the drop down menu from path, or there's a little button. Now you can see if I toggle the path on and off, you can see we actually have a selection now. And then it's up to you. You can fill with a foreground color. Or we can fill with a pattern. Perhaps stroke the selection. Change the size of the line. And that'll outline the text. While the selection is still active, we can maybe put a drop shadow in. All sorts of things you can do. Use a brush. There's a nice fuzzy brush, and we'll get a colour. And I can paint in individual letters if I want to. So when we're finished, hide the path, hide the selection, and that's what the finished text looks like. And you can repeat it for the rest of the paths. Remember, convert the path to a selection and then start your artistic work inside that selection. And it's up to you what you do then. Have lots of fun.